This is Uncivil Liberty. My name is Luke. As always, we have Halston. Say hi, Halston.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
And Horace. Say hi.
Hello.
Is my audio okay? Because I had to play with the settings today for a meeting, and I'm not sure if I set them back properly.
No, you're
Sound
fine.
good so far? All right, good
Yeah.
deal. Good deal. All right. So again, it's Uncivil Liberty. Thanks for tuning in. Check us out. Say Facebook. If you're not currently watching it right now, check out our Facebook page. We got the YouTube going. We've got the podcasts. We've got the Twitter. And we're branching out a little bit, looking at let's see what we're kind of playing with the whole Steemit / DTube thing with that idea. And I'm on is it MeWe now? Is it MeWe? Mayway? Me?
I don't know. I know what you're talking about.
MeWe.
MeWe.
That's not the Chinese restaurant.
I was gonna say. I was like,
Yeah.
Yep. So I'm on there. Horace, are you on there yet?
I think so. I don't really use. I'm on several things that I don't use, like Google Play. Or no,
You're
sorry,
on
Google
Play.
Plus.
Oh, I was gonna say you're on
So
Google Play. That's pretty awesome.
Sorry,
You are an app.
Google-
I got you.
Google Plus.
There you go.
Elo, MeWe, several other things.
Okay.
It's just, nobody else is using them, so I don't bother with them. So,
Yeah.
although if Facebook keeps going the way it's going, it may have to be moving to some of these others.
Well, Halston, did you check it out when I sent it to you? Halston.
Got to turn the mute button off.
There it
Sorry.
is. All right.
Hot damn. Yeah. I checked it out. I'm on there on MeWe. Rolling Thunder.
Rolling Thunder. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. I'm still just Luke Von Trapp because I didn't have any creativity left in me for the day.
Yeah. I don't even know what I'm at on there
Yeah.
as.
Well, I've noticed that there's a lot more people are starting to kind of pick up some of these Facebook alternatives. So I'm like, hey, might as well give it a shot. It can't hurt. What's one more social media account?
Yeah. And it
but-
does seem to be more open.
Yeah, that's one thing
although-
too. How long it
yeah.
stays that way though? That's the question.
Well, I've been hearing some rumors in the background that there may be a new one coming that's going to be more of a distributed network type thing,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like to where there is no way to control it.
Oh, so it's using blockchain technology.
Yes,
If I had $1 for every time I heard the word blockchain technology. I spent about an hour today researching blockchain technology stocks because when Luke needs something exciting to do, he researches stocks. That's my excitement, guys. That's what I do.
Are you guys watching our feed on Facebook?
No.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah, I got that. I have the textbook black screen. So.
Oh yeah, no, I see it. Have you tried refreshing it?
Yeah, I did refresh it. Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Did you try and
reboot it?
unplug
Unplug
it back in? Wait 30 seconds, plug it back in. Yeah, I think that's.
Long as somebody's watching it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I'll take my eyes off of it.
Somebody's watching it, and I'm not. We have two viewers right now, so.
Me and you.
Oh no! Now we have three. Yeah, I'm kind of gonna refresh everything, see what all's going on.
Yeah, let's give you a
Alright,
refresh.
Yeah, do a quick refresh. We got three. Oh, last time we were on, we had a lot of we had a couple newer people pop in later on in the show, and I'm curious to see if maybe 9 o'clock is maybe not necessarily the best time. Maybe we need to kind of push that to a different time.
9:15.
Yeah, 9:15. 9, 17, somewhere in there. I think maybe will definitely be beneficial.
I think we need to cut it down to like a 20-minute show.
You think? Are you serious about that?
Are you
Is that
kidding?
even possible?
We have a
No.
hard enough time keeping it to an hour.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're talking about how podcasts need to be roughly between 16 and 20 minutes, and it's like, if we were just focusing on solely one thing, and we actually were able to focus on any one thing.
Yeah, there's
right.
there's like zero. When I was looking at this research, right, there's like zero that have multiple hosts.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, that's only like the one guy like telling the story, or whatever, like the monologue type of podcast,
So when
interview or whatever.
yeah, so when I started trying to do like individual radio type work, just me, oh my God, it was a train wreck. It was a fucking train wreck. I need somebody to play off of. I need somebody. And it's even better when you can actually see the other person and kind of
Yeah.
gauge their reactions and play that way.
Yeah.
How people like people like Rush Limbaugh, who's done it for years and years and years, how he can do it. You have to be super narcissistic and really enjoy what you're saying, in order for you to be able to enjoy, just sitting in a soundproof room, just talking into a microphone. And
Thank you, Kristen. Kristen said we're better.
we're better. Shit, yeah. I'm gonna send that to Rush Limbaugh. Be like, look here.
I am a little jealous, and
Yeah.
I wonder what it's like to have like your jowls move forward every time you say something, like massage your neck.
You know he's deaf, right?
I didn't know that.
He's like part deaf. Yeah,
I mean,
I didn't know that.
Makes sense now.
I think he's got a cochlear implant now.
Yeah, that's the last. I mean, that was one of those little weird pieces of information that I'm chock full of that I can do absolutely nothing with. It's like,
Yeah.
this is, how can I monetize this? I can't. The gestational period for an elephant, no one cares. No one
Yeah.
cares.
It's about 7 years, isn't it?
It's like 2.5 years, something like that.
Yeah,
It's ungodly. Let me tell you. All right. So, anyways, we're kind of going off
Veering
the.
off.
We're just trying to
What's our topics for tonight?
just trying to fill some time.
Shit, I don't even know.
Oh, and did you guys see my shirt? My awesome shirt? Can you see it?
No.
Oh shit, son. I fucking love the Golden Girls, man,
That's
for
what I'm
real.
saying. It said Squad and has the Golden Girls on it. Walmart's got that. I think they were like $5. I was like,
I might have to grab one too. I'll make it sleeveless or something, so we won't be exact.
I'll
twinsies.
eventually make it sleeveless for the summertime. That's
I love the Golden Girls so much, man.
yep. Yeah. I'm watching the replay on my laptop over here of me holding up my shirt. I was like, yeah. Anyway, so first and foremost, let's talk about our fundraiser real quick. It's still live. I'm probably going to be shutting it down probably tomorrow, just kind of going closing everything off on there. If you want to make some last-minute donations to it, please feel free. Links are still on our page on Facebook at Uncivil Liberties Show. If you want to throw a couple more dollars at it, awesome. We hit $500, and any extra will be beneficial. Right now, if you didn't get the email update, we're kind of working on the scheduling aspect. We kind of have competing schedules sometimes between work and life. Try to find a way for all of us to kind of get together in person and actually go to a place and buy these products.
Work, life, and sleep.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what it is. I'm putting in a lot of hours the past couple of weeks, so it's been a nightmare to try to actually line up something.
That, and I'm usually sleeping during the day.
Yeah, exactly. We got a goddamn vampire here. We can't. There's not much we can actually schedule around. It's like, oh, I'm awake. Yeah, well, it's 11:30 at night, dude. Of course you're awake. These stores aren't open unless you go. So, Kristen Best says it's the best shirt ever. Yeah, you damn right it is. Anyways, but yeah, check out our fundraiser, and we'll be doing the whole video thing and this and that. We had some commotion over the past week in regards to in the past 2 weeks in regards to the fundraiser. You had two people kind of saying that we're scammers and how do we know that you're going to actually do this, and how dare you call out people and shame them into not giving into your campaign. And I was like, well, shut the fuck up.
Pretty
It's
sure it
first
was
off.
one person.
Huh, do what?
Pretty sure it was one person.
I thought it was two. I thought we had that one guy who we reposted
Yeah,
his
I'm
entire thing.
pretty sure that was him. As
Oh,
the girl too.
and then that second person who wanted, she's like, I want to be your slut. I'm like, no.
Which that account is now gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of a shoddy account, but I was kind of like, you don't get that every day, but what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, fuck,
it could've been the
fuck
same
the
person.
dickwad.
Yeah. So I'm calling it two unless there's proof to show that there's two separate people. Otherwise, there's a poor Asian lady in Athens who got her account shut down. So
Yeah.
anyway, but yeah, check out our fundraiser. Throw some money at it if you want to, and then get ready for our next one. Our next one we'll be focusing on something in Birmingham. We're looking at maybe buying food for the homeless, something along those lines. And we'll definitely let you guys know kind of what's coming up as far as the next, put your money where your mouth is fundraiser. Outside of that, we took a break last week. We had a Nickelback break. We all decided that we needed to take some time and to rock out to some Canadian alt pop rock. and I know for a fact Halston did. He lives 5 minutes down the road from me, and I could hear it blaring from his house.
Yeah,
Speak
man.
for yourself. When I go for Canadians, I go for the real stuff.
Are you going to go the Rush route?
Alanis
Well,
Morissette, baby.
There's also hey,
Avril Lavigne, baby, Avril Lavigne.
there's Rush. There's also Triumph.
Okay,
Mm.
all right. That's
Both Canadian trios.
That's true. Isn't Michael Bolton also a Canadian?
I don't know.
I think he might be.
He might be. Looks like a Canadian.
If it's
Like
not
an
classic rock, I'm probably not listening to it.
He's pretty classic. He's classic. He's classic soft rock.
man.
Classic soft
Yeah.
rock.
Georgia.
Did he sing that?
Yeah, he had his rendition of that. That was the
Glad I
state
missed
song.
that one. Whew.
It was the state song before Georgia reinstated Ray Charles or made him not illegal anymore or whatever they did.
I grew up in Georgia. I must have missed that. Missed that
Ray
entire-
Charles was like illegal in Georgia because he wrote that song, I think.
Yeah,
And,
I know. Right,
and then
yeah.
they it was still the state song, but he couldn't perform in Georgia anymore or whatever. So Michael Bolton performed it.
Oh,
They're
that's
very
it.
similar guys.
My God, I learned so much in like the past 13 minutes. I have learned.
Well, don't repeat it because that all might be full of shit. But I know Michael Bolton sang it, and I know Ray Charles was illegal.
Ray Charles was illegal. That's the South for you, you know.
Yeah, I think
you
it was-
you get in those
he
weird
was
things.
illegal.
I guess Georgia's not the biggest fan of blind African American gentlemen who sing. Apparently, that's where I was born and raised, and so I'm sorry. My white privilege is showing. I apologize for that.
That's all right.
Anyways, moving. All right, so the break is off. You know, oh, by the way, I have goats now. So if anybody has goat questions, I don't know.
Did
Don't
you get
ask
a
me.
baby goat too?
Dos.
Two
I
of
got
them.
dos baby goats.
So one of
One's
them
like
didn't.
3 months.
One's a little bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Aaron was like, "Are they baby goats?" I was like, "One looks pretty big." So I showed him that one picture, and now that she knows that you have baby, you're about to get another woman in the house.
Yes, because I need more of that.
That's what you need.
No, Phil. Anyone who knows me personally is welcome to shoot me a message. Say, hey, come by. Can I come by and touch your goats? And I will take that literally
Well,
and not figuratively.
just wait. It will not be long
Fucking Ron.
before I'm sure most of the ladies are like, fuck this shit. You deal with them.
Actually, no. The conversation has evolved to apparently we're going to actually make this an income.
You gonna milk them?
generations. Actually, we're considering raising them for slaughter. There's a huge market for goat meat.
Oh, goat meat's damn good.
I love goat meat.
Well, no. Yeah, but wait
And if
till,
you know me, Luke's always up for an entrepreneurial adventure
Yeah.
because that's what he
No.
just lives for.
just wait for them to become adults and that reek to start.
Oh yeah, they already stink. I mean, they're just horribly smelly, and I can't.
Oh,
really
it's going to get much, much worse.
whatever. I live in my office most of the time, so I'm okay with it. Anyways, all right, moving on. So tonight's topic: sex, love, and government spending. We're actually going to talk about a couple different things. We're going probably a whole bunch of different things, but primarily the spending bill that has been all the rage and the Twitter space and everything, as well as we're going to also talk about some of the dumbest things coming out of these gun control rallies that people have been subjecting themselves to. Not really sure what the purpose is, just to rally against guns, but okay, cool. So we're going to talk about that too. So we're going to kind of roll into the spending bill a little bit. Halston, Horace, have you guys actually taken a look at the 2,000-page monstrosity of a piece of legislation that had to be read like almost overnight?
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, I read the whole thing.
You read the whole thing?
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you and about 99.9% of all the other legislators
Didn't.
didn't.
Yeah. No. I just read I got the bullet point. I wouldn't have signed it based on the bullets either.
So do you
I
have the
think it's
bullets in
really
front of you?
stupid. Huh?
You have the
I have
bullet-
quite a few of them, yeah.
Okay. Horace, do you have bullet points in front of you?
No.
Okay.
No.
So Horace, your job will be to we'll take each bullet point. We'll kind of talk about it. I've got some pulled up on my end, so if we run out of Halston's list, I'm sure I've got some over here. And we'll just kind of talk about each one. So Halston, kick it off.
Hang on.
Some sort of creature in my house is screaming. So
Some sort of creature.
Yeah.
Do you have
sounds like
goats too?
Could be a goat, could be a baby, could be a 3-year-old, could be an 8-year-old. Who knows? Could be a 30-year-old.
Eh,
We have no idea.
sounds like young though.
Sounds like mine.
Yeah, sounds like a young one. So there, number one, the White House asked for $25 billion for a border wall, and that got reduced down to $1.6 billion.
Saw that.
Yeah. So I don't know what kind of wall. You know what? I'm pretty sure I can build a fucking wall for $1.6 billion. I'll
Hell
do the whole
yeah.
damn
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Um,
It's called barbed wire. All right.
Yeah.
Just barbed wire. And honestly, how much? I mean, how much do you really need? 60 billion. I think it was 64 billion was the original amount. Do we really need 64 billion dollars to build a wall?
I mean, some of the the mock-ups that they had of the wall, they were pretty sweet. I mean, if we're gonna have a border wall, it might as well look like this, you know? Like it was sort
Yes.
of like the Berlin Wall kind of had like a wall, this side, a wall on this side.
That's a great comparison. That's exactly what America could shoot for.
Yeah, that's what we
Well,
want. Yeah.
A Berlin Wall, because
Yeah.
that works so well for them. Let's have one ourselves.
Have y'all seen some of the pictures from some of the areas that are already walled off?
Yeah.
You talking about like that part out towards San Diego where they have like different, I guess, prototypes kind of already set up?
I don't know. I think this is along the Texas border. There's sections of it that are actually walled off,
Yeah,
and
there's quite a few.
pictures have actually been posted. And this is a pretty, like a 20, 25 foot tall wall, something like that. It's not a short wall.
Well,
There-
thank God, because a short wall would be kind of defeating in purpose.
Well, that's just it. They take ladders, go over the top, and use ropes to come down.
Yeah.
It's not stopping anybody.
Oh yeah, I mean it's not an impenetrable fortress here.
It's slowing them down by maybe what, 20 seconds?
Yeah, this was like the last mock-up was like there's a 20 foot wall on this side, and then there's like a 20-yard or 30-yard space between it, and then there's another 20-foot wall on this side. So there would have to be some sort of vacuum there that they've got to walk through, or whatever the fuck.
A legitimate vacuum. It's
Yeah.
just like it's just a whole bunch of Black and Decker set up across the border. Not really sure what the purpose is, but hey, Trump's leading the way, so hey, it makes sense.
That's right. Yeah.
Make America great again. Black and Decker.
Yeah, but anyway, it's really stupid. I mean, and the last study was like 65% of illegal immigrants come through like legit ports of entry.
Yeah.
So you're trying to stop 35%? You're not going to stop all them? Like, what's the fucking point?
Has anybody actually taken the time to look at Mexico and the parts of the U.S. and everything? How much coastline there is?
Right.
Oh yeah.
So
because somebody who really wants to get in the United States isn't going to float a raft across.
I mean,
the Gulf.
yeah, like, how many motherfuckers hopped on a pool float from Cuba and made it to Miami? I mean, you know
No
what I mean?
shit.
Like, it's
Well,
just so
Next, they're going to want to put a wall actually in the ocean itself.
in the ocean, yeah.
That'll be
Just make a big giant hole that you fall through.
All right.
Anyway.
What's next?
What's next? What's next?
But that's still $1 billion. That's still $1 billion of our dollars going to pay
Yeah.
for that horrible idea. Next.
Yes, next. The Fix NICS Act is back in. Doesn't say how much money they're getting.
Fix
but
NCIS.
yes,
For people who don't know, NCIS.
NICS.
NICS.
That's it. Yeah. The criminal database.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how would fixing it prevent shooters from shooting people?
It doesn't. All it does is it really just there's a financial incentives for states to report more like criminal domestic abuse, criminal domestic violence, and felonies to the federal level, because it is a federal check. It's not a local check. So if someone goes to jail this weekend for beating their wife, they can get out Monday and go get a gun before it gets reported.
I know there's been a big push in the gun control crowd as far as, making sure that, there's some sort of mental health background check done before people end up purchasing guns. We can kind of talk about this during the gun control aspect, but there's people saying they want to tie medical records to NCIS. For those of you who think this is a good idea, it's not. It's a horrible fucking idea.
Oh yeah.
We have HIPAA legislation for a reason. It keeps
Yeah.
people out of your medical records who don't need to be in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as far as the fix in the NICS bill, this is one area where the leadership of the GOP basically gave the finger and stuck the knife in the back of a lot of the GOP members and
Yeah.
Congress, because they were promised that the fix NICS bill would not be put forth unless national reciprocity was attached,
Yep.
and it was not.
Well,
Nope.
after kind of going through this whole bill, this is a very, very amazing spending bill for a Democrat-based legislature. Let me tell you, a
Yeah.
Democrat-controlled legislature like what we have now, it's an amazing spending bill. And that's 100% sarcasm. I don't
Yeah.
know. There may be people watching who lean on the Republican side. Let me tell you, anytime any Republican tells you that they are the party of fiscal conservatives, they are fucking lying on this one.
Oh, God, yes.
Straight up fucking lying. This is one of the biggest spending bills, and not only that, not too long ago they raised the debt ceiling so they could squeeze more money into military spending.
Yeah.
So the next time you hear that, just slap somebody in the face.
I mean,
But don't punch Nazi. But I'm just saying.
Yeah.
this was a bad spending bill regardless. Because, I mean, when when you have a Republican-controlled Senate and only 9 Democrats vote against it, something's wrong.
Yeah. There's a lot in this bill that's like, holy crap, really? This passed through? All right.
Well,
What's next?
What's next? So, basically nothing happened with DACA.
Right. I saw that.
They also didn't defund any of the sanctuary cities.
Yeah. Which definitely pissed off a lot of the conservative crowd.
They also didn't target Planned Parenthood.
Hell, they
Yep.
fully funded them.
Right. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
like, it was kind of it's kind of a do nothing omnibus for anything that any Republican would vote for.
Well, no,
And then there's all the other shit. Then there's like it's a do nothing for like the Republican voter. All the Republican back pocket, backdoor, what's the typical oligarchy shit? It's all still there.
Yeah.
well, then there was the Cloud Act, which was buried in it.
I didn't see that.
Yes, the Cloud Act was buried in it, and that's some nasty shit.
No, I didn't see that. What is
Are
that?
y'all from
Elaborate.
The Cloud Act basically is designed to create almost a treaty system where any country that wants to can join into it. It sets a single set of rules that have to be abided by, and as long as those are abided by, it makes it easier for foreign countries to get data from telecommunications providers, whether it be Facebook, Google, your ISP, etc.
Yeah, Verizon's notorious for selling off their shit.
It makes it much easier to to get the court orders, because if I'm understanding it correct, because it's going to be one set of rules, you don't have to. All they have to do is get a court order in their location, and that's good enough. So they would, if Spain, for instance,
Right.
wants information over there, all they have to do is get a Spanish court to go sign off on it, and that's good enough.
So more or less, it's pretty much kind of like judicial reciprocity.
Yeah, basically, and I mean it's open to floodgate for whatever. The amount of oversight on this is very, very low. Pretty much every privacy thing oriented thing, from the EFF to the ACLU, is going, fuck this shit. No.
Yeah.
Google, Facebook, and all them are going, hell yes. Which I understand at least one reason why they like it like this. Rather than having to worry country by country by country, for the most part, it gives one level playing field, one set of rules.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I can understand that.
You can understand why
they would like it.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. What else you got? What else is listed? We had got the Cloud Act. Anything else in your bullet points?
Yeah. The Census Bureau got $1.3 billion increase.
Are you on Vox.com?
Oh, I am.
Okay, cool. Just checking, because I am too. Let's go ahead.
Can you tell is it reflecting off my eyeballs?
No. I'm just kind of like I'm kind of looking. I'm like, oh, they've mentioned that here too. Go ahead.
Yeah. And then there's National Institutes of Health got a $3 billion increase. These are increases too. This isn't just they got $1.3 billion. They got a $1.3 billion increase.
Right.
Yep. The transportation projects got $1.5 billion. So that's tripled their budget.
Yeah, because originally it was $500 million.
Yeah.
And so this is one of those shovel-ready programs that Obama kicked in.
Oh dear God!
Back when he first entered the scene, and so the Republicans went ahead and, while they criticized it back then, they're now saying, okay, let's keep this. So,
yeah.
Another thing to keep in the back of your mind the next time anyone who's waving the Republican flag talks about how they're the party of conservatives, fiscal conservatives. They're not.
No.
Well, I mean, let's take a look at another thing that they hated, and justifiably, but was their idea in the first place. This thing called, originally it was called Romneycare, and it was in Massachusetts.
Mm-hmm.
And it became something known as Obamacare.
Mm-hmm.
When it was Romneycare in Massachusetts, hell yeah, let's do it.
Right.
As soon as it was, under the Democrats, no.
Yeah.
Get over your hypocrisy, people.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then there's all kinds of. There was close to a $2 billion increase on foreign aid to countries who don't need it.
Yeah.
So that's your Israel, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Jordan. All the countries that we promised for dirt on their citizens, or whatever you want to call it. But these are like all the developed countries in the Middle East. We give them money, not the undeveloped countries. Why would we do that? So.
Well, yeah. Apparently, Conservative Review, which is if that's pretty much the main rag that a lot of the shock jocks, especially in this area, conservative talk radio show hosts, they kind of pulled their content for their show off of this. I kind of pulled them up to see what they had to say. They weren't a fan. They were just horrible. They're extremely pissed off about not getting a wall, because like a wall is going to really fix anything. They did call out the fact that it does increase the debt drastically. So at least there's some level of intellectual honesty coming out of them. All right, you're right. There was an increase in funding for ICE and customs agents. Did you guys see that too?
Saw that.
No.
Yeah. So so immigration patrols, papers please, people getting even more money to be able to go and harass people for not having the proper documentation, which is that's very Republican in nature.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. State of fund control. Oh, opioid crisis funding.
Yeah.
Oh, more for Sessions.
More for funding for opiate addiction prevention and treatment. Here's an idea.
Legalize pot.
Legalize pot. And even though it's not a very libertarian position to take, tax it. If you must, tax it. Okay, whatever. But there's a great way to get rid of
that and leave Kratom alone.
And Kratom. There's a lot of studies coming out, and the DEA has been cracking down on Kratom. Alabama's cracked down on Kratom. It's getting harder to get supplies of Kratom into the state, largely because it's looked at the same on the equal playing field as fentanyl, I guess. I don't know. It's not, but a
Not
lot of
even
people,
close.
a lot of people have been able to kick opioid addiction by switching over to kratom. And if you don't know what kratom is, go in and research it. It's a really cool plant. It has some effects, I guess, that are similar in nature to opioids without the addiction and without getting quote unquote high. Like,
Well, no, let's be honest and clear here. Long-term daily use can lead to addiction.
yeah, so can
With
huffing paint fumes.
So
I mean,
uh,
long-term use of anything on a daily basis can lead to an addiction, whether it's physical or
well,
psychological.
no, I mean,
That's not the question.
mm, no, I mean it leads to a physical addiction with similar uh, withdrawal symptoms to long-term alcohol use,
Hmm.
basically DTs.
Hey, and you know what? Alcohol's legal, so
Yeah,
there you go.
so I don't want when we say non-addictive, I don't want to
It's
be
not. It's yeah. I got you. Yeah, it's not as addictive substance, but
yeah,
cigarettes and alcohol both are
yeah,
addictive, both are legal.
yeah.
What the hell,
And
Um,
try quitting nicotine sometime.
I know, I know. It's a bitch. It's a real bitch, and you can ask anyone in my family. Um, yeah, you can ask anyone in my
I'm
family.
still doing pretty good. Well,
Yeah, good for you.
6 months.
Good for you. Good for
Kick
you.
that bucket.
Yeah, whatever.
Kick the bucket? No, that means you die. I didn't kick the bucket. Kick the habit.
Nope. For life, baby.
Fuck it.
Drew came out and said it's illegal in Tennessee too.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sorry for those who heard me cough. Yeah,
I think
exactly. It's
Georgia as
becoming more
well.
and more illegal around the place. I get messages from people out in Arizona who are like, "Hey, are you looking for some kratom?" Feel like I'm like going behind the local bowling alley and trying to score a fat dime sack or something. I'm just hey, because
Suck a
honestly,
dick
because
for
like
kratom.
the whole kratom thing, the opioid thing. I've used kratom in the past. I usually would use it whenever I started feeling sick. Like if I started feeling like I'm starting to come down with something, okay, great. I'm hitting up some tea, taking some kratom, and curling up on the bed early, and usually it pretty much will knock whatever out of me, and I'm able to kind of recover quicker with it. Um, yeah, I'd use it like once every couple of weeks or once a month or something like that. So I mean, it's a great plant, but much like marijuana, it's being demonized. It's being, legislated against. And again, it just kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
all right. What else we got? Anything else we need to bring to light on?
Well, something I wanted to say before I forget it. Um, and talking about foreign aid and countries.
Hmm.
Um, y'all, Halston, you may not, but Luke, you know who Jeff Berwick is?
Jeff Berwick. He is the
Host of
dollar.
Anarchast,
Is it
Dollar
Dollar
Village.
Vigilante? Yeah.
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 Okay. Um, I was just reading one of his articles on Steam. Um, and he is an anarchist.
Yeah.
And
Anarcho-capitalists.
yes.
Just so we're aware. Yes.
Um,
Not the
and
Antifa type of anarchist who
no,
goes around kicking in windows and
who
tries
isn't
to
even
set and pour mom and pop shops on fire because damn the man and damn capitalism. No,
and who isn't even an anarchist in the first place.
yeah,
So,
right.
but anyway, one of the things we hear as anarchists when we're trying to talk to people about it is, well, if you want anarchy, go to Somalia.
Mm,
He
oh,
did.
oh.
He literally went to Somalia.
I hate that argument with a passion. Hate it
Oh
with a
God,
passion.
yeah. This is what got me. While he was down there, he was talking to someone in Mogadishu, um, and they told him that they would not come to the U.S. because they watch TV and everything, and they see all the police brutality, and they feel that coming to the U.S. would be unsafe.
Mm, that's fair. That's fair. That's fair. I mean, our police do have a problem with gunning down unarmed black
Okay,
people.
yeah, but this is
So
somebody
I
from
can kind
Mogadishu,
I understand.
Somalia, where
I
daily
understand.
bombings are a
Yeah,
thing.
I'm gonna have to say that he's looking through a skewed glass there for sure.
Yeah.
So, but I found that it's like, wow, that says something.
True. Hey, and Laura Lane popped up. She said maybe she could plant some kratom in her in her backyard. It's a tropical plant. You know, that usually comes from Southeast Asia. It needs a very humid climate. Well, she also you're down there in the southern part of Alabama, so that's pretty damn close to tropical as it is. So it might do some good. But it's not an easy plant to cultivate. That's for sure.
No, it's Southeast Asia, and when I do mean South.
Yeah, we're talking like southern Vietnam, Thailand.
Thailand.
Yep.
Those areas where
Indonesia.
it's very, very tropical year round, just about. They don't get much cold weather.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, some other things that are in this bill. Apparently, Rand Paul. And if anyone who knows me, I'm not the biggest fan of Rand Paul. He kind of talks out both sides of his mouth a lot of times.
Yes.
He and a lot of libertarians look at him as some sort of like messiah, like this liberty-based messiah. He's really not. He supports funding Israel. He's okay with them utilizing military tactics against the Palestinians, peaceful Palestinians. He's approved the NDAA multiple times. If you vote yes, then great. Then you support it. That's fine. But don't sit around and tout that you're some sort of, something close to libertarian. He is. I will give him a fiscal conservative. I'll give him the fact that he does kind of stay relatively close to the fiscal conservative line, except for when it comes to foreign aid and foreign spending. But he did bring up a few different things in here. We're looking at $20 million. For countering foreign state propaganda that's targeted at Russia, because apparently Russia is the reason why Trump won and they meddled in the elections. Last I heard during this whole probe, I think a couple of people from Russia spent $46,000 in Facebook advertising. Yet we spent over like $3 million investigating this $46,000 expense. So, yeah, that's America for you. We'll throw money at it as long as it's not coming out of our own personal pockets. What else we got? We got $12 million for countering state disinformation and pressure. So
anti-propaganda.
Right.
Propaganda.
So we're not only are we countering foreign state propaganda with $20 million, another $12 million going to countering state disinformation.
Now, when they say countering, are they actually countering, or are they just...
They're using their own propaganda
to
fight their propaganda.
It's like a bunch of shitty toddlers in a room, just throwing shit at each other. That's pretty much kind of where we're at. If you want to look at it from an international diplomatic perspective, that's kind of like where we're at right now.
Yeah.
What else we got? We've got $51 million to promote international family planning and reproductive health. Not sure why that's an American issue. International sounds more like not American, not my tax dollars. What are you gonna do? Just buy birth control for everyone?
In theory, by helping keep birth levels down in foreign countries, we can reduce the amount of foreign aid increases they'll need in the future.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Just.
By God.
Where's my bullshit spray? I got some bullshit spray somewhere in here. Hang on.
I mean, I buy that. Yeah. I guess if you do that, you do. You also reduce the number of terrorists.
Well, that was. Wow. Just wow, Alston.
That's
wow.
what you do. You fucking just make them all irrelevant. It's like, you know what? We're just going to all you guys. You guys can't come anymore. No more coming from brown people.
All I'm doing is trying to figure out how they're going to present it so that the sheep will be okay with it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how they do that.
How about $218 million for promoting democracy development in Europe? And of course, Rand Paul puts in the tweet. He says here, the birthplace of democracy needs promoting. Well, that's fair. Why are we promoting a political structure that we don't even have ourselves?
Yeah.
I don't know. We see that all the time, man.
That was probably slipped in by the Democrats.
But $218 million to help Europe
restore
democracy. I don't think they're really having a hard time with that, really.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Let's see, $25 billion for international religious freedom. That's very vague. It's super duper vague.
It kind of ties into the Cloud Act a bit.
What about $10 million for disadvantaged Egyptian students?
Hmm.
Yes.
God, there can't be that many.
What about $12 million for scholarships for colleges in Lebanon?
How many colleges are there in Lebanon? There
3,
can't
I
be that
think.
many.
There's
I
only
don't-
3 that haven't been bombed that I'm pretty sure of, but what about another
Jeez.
$20 million for a Middle East Partnership Initiative scholarship program?
No.
$12 million in military funding for Vietnam.
That's what we need.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
Why the hell are we funding
they
Vietnam?
kicked our ass back in the 70s. So what we're gonna do? We're actually gonna give them more money as a way of
Okay.
saying thank you for kicking our ass back in the 70s or 60s. I'm sorry, in the 60s.
We're funding a communist dictatorship.
Yeah.
I'm right. $12
In
million
In the spirit of democracy.
in the spirit of yes. See,
To outlaw their kratom.
the logic is failing. It's failing quick. All right. What about $10 million for women law enforcement officers in Afghanistan?
Oh my God.
Oh.
So those 2 women law enforcement officers,
Yeah, those-
that's fucking
yes,
$5 million
yes.
a piece. God damn.
I'm still trying to get past the Vietnam part.
Well, what about the $15 million in developmental aid to China? What the
What
hell
the
does China
fuck?
need help developing? And last time I checked, we're not on the best of terms with China. Like we have,
So yeah, we're paying them so that we can tax them heavily on imports and then do a tariff on their steel so that we can just give them $15 million. I got it. Yeah.
Well,
okay.
that and
Yep.
we're looking at what is it? I think it was like either 20 or 50 billion dollars in tariffs on Chinese goods.
Yeah.
Yet at the same time, I was seeing this just today. Apparently, a lot of the garbage that the U.S. produces is being hauled over to China.
Yeah.
And
They're
the
called
U.S.
Buicks.
is based.
Buicks, yes, please get them out. Saturns, get them out, get them out.
Apparently, I don't know what they do with it, but
Day
apparently we're still we are demanding that they continue taking it, and the Chinese are apparently hitting the point of going, I don't think we're going to take this anymore. Y'all deal with it. It's your trash. You deal with it.
China does not need developmental aid.
No.
China is a beast.
Nor
China-
do
yeah.
they need trash.
Do it.
They don't need trash either.
Yeah, but China is also one of the largest consumers of aluminum for their rockets. So maybe they're trying to pull all the aluminum out of American trash since we don't recycle here. Pull it
Maybe.
out there so they can make rockets so they can send it back over to us in the future. I'm not
No clue.
I'm not really hip on the idea of or hip on the whole diplomacy thing or how that all works, but whatever. Looks like it says in there that no money should be spent for the permanent stationing of U.S. forces in Afghanistan.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think we have any permanent bases in Afghanistan.
Well, again, Rand Paul brings up the point. 16 years in the country, that's kind of
Pretty
permanent.
goddamn permanent.
It's-
Yeah.
I mean, that's at least a very long lease. Okay, a super long lease. It may not be permanent, but by God, I've got a 100-year lease. You may as well call it permanent.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have a 100-year lease. It just seems like that's pretty much kind of what we're
Well,
shooting
I mean,
for.
it's not like, for example, where we have actual physical permanent bases in Germany, Korea.
Yeah.
I think
I've
we
been
got
there.
Japan.
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 Italy.
Yep. Vincenzo. Yep.
Where we have actual
UK,
permanent bases.
UK.
Yeah.
Yep.
Unlike with Afghanistan, they're all, temporary forward operation bases?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bombs. Yep.
And airbase.
Airbase. Yep.
Yeah.
And-
Harvard's airbase.
And also, no funds are to be spent to prevent any state's medical marijuana initiatives. So if there is like one good thing, this is probably that.
Is that the Rohrabacher Amendment?
Yep.
Okay.
Rohrabacher. Say that. Rohrabacher. Yeah, that's what you do. You walk up into the club, you look at a girl, and you go Rohrabacher, and see what she does. If she understands what you're saying, that's a keeper right there. Let me tell you. Saying no funds of this act will be used to support or justify torture. It's sad that we got to write that on paper. I mean, seriously, that's just a sad state of affairs.
Bunch of pussies.
But that's pretty much what Rand Paul had to say about this whole spending thing. And there's other like little weird things. Apparently, Anderson Cooper just popped up on my screen. God, I don't know.
Naked?
Nope. Still, hey, speaking of naked, we still got the Jeff Sessions
dear
nudie pics
God.
thing. That's still up. I mean, that's still going.
I can't believe we haven't gotten any yet.
Nothing. Not even like a shitty Photoshop of some gay porn.
Real-
or anything
pretty-
like that. I mean,
Pretty
like,
disappointed by that.
of course, if you do that, we're not going to give you the money. But shoot, I'd love to see some horribly photoshopped pictures of
Me too.
Jeff Sessions and his face and
Send them to
compromise.
Horace at uncivilliberty.com.
And if you are a member of our page on Facebook, you will find your ass banned from said page.
Yeah, and Megan's joined us tonight. She was super bummed last week when we didn't actually have our show, but she said her brother was born in Nuremberg, Germany, at a military base. A lot of people were. A lot of Frankfurt, Nuremberg, Landstuhl. Landstuhl's a huge hospital out there. That's where I was at.
Rammstein's a huge area.
Rammstein's.
Excuse me, Ramstein.
Rammstein. Yep.
Rom.
Air base.
Ramstein.
Ramstein Air Base. Let me take me out to the Ramstein Air Base, please. Yeah. In the land of taxis that are BMWs and Mercedes. Hey, can I go to Ramstein? Yeah.
That's right.
Sure.
So Israel still getting $12 million a day.
$12 million a day going to Israel.
$12 million a day,
$12
up from $10 million a day. It was 3.6 billion.
Israel got a
last year.
raise. That's nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
The military got a 1% raise, but Israel got a $2 million a day raise because hey, they need it.
You're a fucking developed country.
Okay.
Okay, Horace.
I'm going to get off into a little topic here that may stir up some controversy, and oh well, fuck it. This is Uncivil Liberty. It's kind of what we do. Okay.
Are we gonna fight? Is this like Mortal Kombat level fighting right now?
Now, I think y'all will agree with me on this one. Okay. A lot of why they're doing this is because Israel is the Holy Land.
It's religious. Yes, go ahead.
If you follow, the Bible and everything that goes into it, my understanding that I was raised into is that Israel they're undefeatable. They cannot be beaten. No matter who goes up against them, they'll win.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, why are we funding them? They're not fine on their own.
That's
Or
fair.
do you not really believe?
That's right. They don't
Well,
believe.
That opens up a lot of doors that I don't think we can cover in the short.
Put that on the list. Put that on the list. That's a whole nother show.
We're gonna spend a whole show just on Israel.
But that's kind of where I come from on that one.
That's not even the real
Do you
Israel.
believe or do you not believe?
Yeah.
Because if you do, then we don't need to be spending money on it.
Yeah. Well, this is
And if
like
you
fake
don't-
Israel that we just took a bunch
It's
of
fake
people
Israel.
from.
It's
from
diet
fucking-
Israel. It's
from Germany
it's
and
almost like
France.
the real Israel, but
Yeah.
with just half the calories.
I mean, this is the chosen people.
Yeah. Well,
You know,
they've been
in
a
the
fucking
chosen
country
land.
for 70 years with these folks. Get out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
So
All right. Anything else? Got more money for the National Park Service coming in. That's one thing that I don't really get up in arms about. You can't really get pissed off at nature.
When you lay out the national parks, so when you're talking about like basically all of the forestry, when national parks and I think BLM's included in this. Basically, all of your public land, almost 100% of that is funded by campers, hikers, and hunters. But then the government still funds it on top of that, which blows my fucking mind. Why they do that?
That has to go to somebody's pocket.
Well,
like,
It has to. It has to. It has to be vendors or they got some mafia bears.
Mafia bears. That's where we're going with this. Is mafia bears?
no,
Okay.
there is a reason I believe they do that. They'll never admit to it, but by doing it that way, in the case of a government shutdown, they have something to hold over the other side.
Yeah, maybe.
That's a dick move. Dick move.
It's politics.
Oh yeah.
It's
I
made
get
of
that.
dick moves.
Yeah, politics is nothing but dick moves. Quite
So
honestly.
that's just my theory on that one.
Yeah.
And
Well,
how many times has all the national monuments and parks and everything been held over everybody?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
no, that's
It happens
true,
all
you
the
know.
time. This president's pretty
Whenever
good
there's
at it,
a
actually.
whenever there's a shutdown, the first thing to do is close the parks. Yet
Yeah.
they pay the rangers to keep people out of the parks. Just
Right.
let
Yeah.
them go home. Fuck it, just go.
Yeah.
And apparently also an increase in the daily pay for federal jury duty. So that's from $40 a day to $50 a day. So thank you, Congress, for that. That's great. Being forced to do jury duty at $50 a day instead of 40. Thank you.
Well, yeah, but honestly, if you want out of jury duty, it's fucking easy as hell to get out of jury
No, I know that, but there's a lot of people who are just like, well, I gotta go do my jury duty because I'm required to. If I don't, then I'll get in trouble. Oh, just fucking sink it.
No, all you have to do is when they ask, is there any reason you think you might not, be qualified or a good choice or whatever it is? All you have to do is hold up your hand and go, I believe in jury nullification.
Yep,
You're gone.
That will
out.
do it super quick. Super. Yeah, if you get jury
You
duty
are
and you don't want to do it, just whisper the words jury nullification. Gone.
And
Toast.
you're gone.
Toast.
If you want out of jury duty, it is just so fucking easy.
Yeah.
Not me,
And-
man. I'm trying to be on a jury. I want like one of those good ones that I can write a book about it later.
Ooh.
Mm.
I'm
Well,
trying to get rich,
apparently
motherfuckers.
Megan has met a mafia bear. So I'm thinking this. I think we need to get Megan on to talk. One of these days to talk about her experiences.
Yeah,
with
I'm gonna have to
mafia
hear
bears.
about that.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
gonna have to hear
a
about
story there, and then of course Laura Lane pops up, the $50 a day to promote the FIJA, which is the Fully Informed Jury Association, the jury nullification organization that we proudly support. We probably don't advocate nearly as much. Maybe that's something we need to work on. And Megan would like to do jury duty, so that's
God bless her.
you're
It's a
amazing.
model American.
All right. Anything else in this spending bill we need to kind of talk about?
No, fuck.
All
I
right.
mean, we
So
only got
bottom
fucking six.
line is
We didn't even talk about the other bullshit. We got 6 minutes left.
we can go over a little bit.
Yeah.
When do we not? But yeah. But this bill is complete shit. It's total
Oh
shit.
God.
And the fact, and I would expect this coming from a controlled legislature, from Pelosi and Schumer. Would totally get that, or Reid. That type of control would totally expect this. But this is Paul Ryan who's leading the House here, and he's supposed to be this like the grand wizard of fiscal conservatives. Ain't the fucking
No.
case. Ain't the
Although
fucking case.
I've been hearing he's not going to be much longer.
Well,
Yeah, there's a bunch of guys that are just giving up. Him, Trey Gowdy. There's quite a few that aren't running again. Not for Congress anyway.
Dowdy's not running?
Yeah, I think he's I think he's not running next year
That would be
or
surprising.
this year.
but yeah, I just it's just such a mess. And like even Mo Brooks popped up, and he's on one of the things. And if you don't know who Mo Brooks is, he's Northern Alabama's congressman, and he is a complete shit stain, 100% shit stain.
Oh God, yes.
Oh God, it's just, and it's hard to even just read the bullshit that kind of just rolls out of his mouth. When he was touting how yet again we can't shut down the government, we need to keep the government open, we got to pass this and this and this. I'm like, I thought you were a fiscal conservative, because Mo Brooks, like many of the ones that are currently sitting in there, got in during the whole Tea Party craze back in like 2010 time frame, saying that they're gonna smaller government, control spending, keep the debt ceiling low, shrink the debt ceiling, this, that, and the other, and
Well,
that has not been the case.
I hate to do this.
What?
I really hate to do this because I hate to defend Mo. But correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he vote no on it?
I don't know if he's voted. I don't know if he voted no on it, but his other votes have increased government spending. He is the first one. He's the first one to sign his name when it comes to anything dealing with increasing military spending.
I want to say in this case on this bill, he actually voted no.
That's fine. But for him to come out and say, first of all, we have to do everything we can to keep the government from shutting down. Honestly,
yeah.
that's probably the thing that we need the most, because the people need to be reminded that you don't need Congress. You don't need the White House, and you don't need the Supreme Court to be able to continue your day-to-day life.
No.
The majority of the stuff that impacts you happens at the local and the state level. So if you want to get involved, that's the more important areas. This stuff right here is just pissing away money to piss away money. Bottom line. It's as though there's no spending cap. You've got this credit card with no limit, and you're just gonna go buy more rims for your Hummer. That's it. You know. All right.
That's it.
All right. So let's move on to the gun control thing.
Let's move on.
All right. Austin, you had some stuff for the gun control.
Fuck yeah, man. There's how about the retired Supreme Court justice that came out and said it's time for it to be repealed, and then those two high school kids. Both of them asked for did the whole that it's an antiquated amendment and needs to be repealed and replaced, sort of like Obamacare or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's all kinds of write-ups after that the March for Our Lives that's basically saying, oh no, what these kids want are really in line with the Second Amendment and yada yada. Like, how does getting rid of it, how is that in line with it? Doesn't really make sense. But yeah, there was a retired Supreme Court justice basically came out and said, yeah, it should be repealed. It's just an antiquated amendment that's not necessary.
I have seen some of the dumbest protest signs come out of this most recent March for Life.
Real men use fists.
Are you advocating for domestic violence at this point?
Yeah, like what are you doing?
First off, but there's people just aren't comprehending a lot of the basic concepts. They're so swept up in the sensationalism of something bad happened at a school. It does, it sucks. It happened. Going back to what I think I'd posted a few weeks ago on the page in regards to the guy was out in Utah who was trying to bring a bomb to school. That got like almost zero airplay.
Yeah.
But everywhere you turn around, you see this David Hogg guy. You see that what's her name, Emma Gonzalez. Yeah, Emma Gonzalez chick, and they're like some sort of celebrity status, political activist.
How about all the people that got blown up in fucking Austin, Texas?
Okay,
bombs going off left and right. It's
it pop up and go away.
The guy blew himself up. See you later. No more bombs.
Yeah, no one said anything about that. No one really cares too much about that because bombs are illegal. That's already taken care of. Well, the illegal bombs still somehow are being able to be detonated at places like FedEx facilities. So apparently if you're on the pro gun control argument side of the house, more legislation. There's nothing worse than a bad guy with a bomb. A good guy with a bomb was really what was needed to take out the bad guy with a bomb.
That's right.
You like that? Because I know how much you hate the good guy with a gun.
Yeah, I fucking hate it.
And Drew said he didn't even hear about that. Yeah, go look it up. Go pull it up from a few weeks ago. It flashed and was gone.
The kid in Utah, or wherever it was.
3 weeks was it? I want to say it was Utah, but I could be totally off as far as the state.
Yeah, there was a kid that brought a bomb to school, right? He actually brought the bomb to school. Yeah.
Yep. And he was gonna blow it up, and he got caught. Good. I'm glad he got caught. But when you look at it from a strategic perspective, these guys are pretty fucking stupid if they're going on fucking social media saying, "Hey, I'm gonna do this." You're at that point, you're there for attention. You're not really at that blowing up level.
Yeah.
But like Emma Gonzalez, one of the quotes that everyone keeps kind of throwing out there for her, they say no laws could have prevented the hundreds of senseless tragedies that have occurred. We call BS. Murder's already illegal. Creating more laws doesn't stop the problem. You can't sit there and just legislate people to do the right thing. Especially when you're talking about things like, firearms for your own personal protection, for your home defense or whatever. Are you okay there?
Yeah, I just had a cat jump off the back of the couch onto my leg.
I thought maybe my monologue was reaching such an emotional level with you that you're just going to come out of the seat, touched by the Holy Spirit, and that's great.
Oh man.
No, I had a cat use my.
I'll pass the offering plate.
I had a cat use my leg as a landing pad.
Well, that's
No.
um, another amazing sign. Sorry for your inconvenience. We're trying to change the world.
Yeah, and I wish women had as many rights as guns do.
Yes, I love that sign. That sign is the best.
Yeah. But
Why is that the best?
what is fucking wrong with you, man? Like, yeah, let's all
Because
get a background check before we get a woman. What the
they
fuck
have
is
been
wrong with you?
raised to think that feelings are what matter.
And that's one thing
Yeah.
that I tell my kids, and they will actually repeat this verbatim. Nobody cares about your feelings as much as you do.
That's right.
And no one's teaching these kids that. Your feelings don't fucking matter.
I
That's
was
right.
about to say,
I
what,
fucking loved when they sent out that thing like Nathan Hale and what's his name, but all the founding fathers and the basically everybody in the Revolutionary War, Paul Revere, and almost everybody was like under 22 or something like that. There's like, oh, so these young people don't know what they're talking about. I was like, you want to compare these motherfuckers who cry over everything to people who are stabbing each other in the heart for freedom? Like, what is wrong with you?
Laura Lane nailed it. Tide Pods. That's all you got to
Yeah,
say.
exactly.
Because yeah, and you have to keep in mind too. Yes, they were young adults, no doubt about it. But the mentality was a lot different. They were probably already 8 years into a marriage by the time that they were starting the Revolutionary War. They weren't just doing on laundry detergent.
And I forgot, but the fucking French guy, he had already commanded like 15 battles at 18.
Oh,
yeah.
These guys can barely even change their underwear
Right.
Well,
on a regular basis.
these were also, if you look at the amount of education they had, these are people with at least the equivalent of what would be a bachelor's degree or a master's degree today. I mean, these were very educated men.
Educated for the time, yes,
Definitely.
Yeah,
So-
and then Drew popped up and was wanting to know how many times do we have to notify the FBI that someone is a problem.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
I mean,
apparently more than 30-something.
yeah. The FBI is only focused on whatever mission that's handed down by the Attorney General. The FBI does not give two shits or a fuck because it goes back to the concept that people have in their mind that the police, law enforcement, is there to protect you. And if you don't believe me when I say they're not there to protect you, your protection is an unintended consequence. Hello, Kitty. How are you? Go Google, look up the opinion Castle Rock versus Gonzalez, Castle Rock, Colorado v. Gonzalez, where the SCOTUS, Supreme Court of the United States, came out and said that the police have no legal, moral, or financial obligation to protect you. Their job is to simply enforce the laws of the state or of the municipality.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's their sole job. Your security is not their worry at all. That's why you're not going to see anything come out of the sheriff's department, anything negative come out of the negative repercussions from the sheriff's department, the sheriff deputies who refuse to go into the school shooting scenario in Florida, because they're not obligated to. Their job is simply to enforce the law. And police and prosecutors also have this thing called selective enforcement, which is a legal concept where they can pick and choose at their own whim what laws they want to enforce. If you don't believe me, Google it. It's right there. You can read all about it.
Although on the DA side, there's another term for it: prosecutorial discretion.
Right. It's the same concept. That's why a cop, if a cop sees you speeding, he doesn't have to pull you over. He can if he wants to, but he doesn't have to. If he sees, maybe somebody being unsafe in the car, maybe he will. But they're not obligated to do anything other than enforce the laws that they are required to enforce. That's it. And even then, so you have people on that side of the argument too who say, well, police are only enforcing marijuana laws because they have to. They can choose not to. They have a lot of discretion, and so you can say they're just doing their job all you want to. Bottom line is, it's really up to them whether or not they want to do it or not. But yeah, Google it. That's Castle Rock v. Gonzalez, Supreme Court opinion back in 2005, 2003, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And read the backstory. The backstory's kind of fucked up. Pretty much, this mom had a restraining order against her ex-husband. He kept coming around. She called the cops. They never did anything. He ended up kidnapping the kids, murdering them in the back, and put him and himself and killed himself in the back of his truck. And so she went to sue the police department for not enforcing the restraining order, and they came back and said, it's not their job. Your protection is not their job.
Yep.
So, yeah, that's a good little
And-
piece of information. Whenever you hear somebody talking about how we need to have more police, why?
And-
All they do is generate revenue.
This
Yeah.
is why, as an
We need that one
anarchist-
cop from Maryland.
Yeah. And now, don't get me wrong. There are a handful of good cops out there. There are a handful. Okay, I know, Horace, you're going to kind of cringe at this. I get that. Not every single cop is there to, make themselves feel like Bobby Badass or Timmy or Tactical Timmy. All right, that's not necessarily the case. There are people who go in there with kind of a more of a humanitarian mindset. They want to try to do good, and they kind of think that going into this field is going to do it. Getting into the FBI, they're going to be able to track down criminals. When bottom line, all it is bureaucracy. They're pointing in a general direction and said, hey, go do this. And they go do that.
I will go so far as to say there are some that aren't as bad as others, but
Right.
I can't agree that there is such a thing as a good cop. There's no such thing.
Okay, all right. I think that there are decent people who are in the law enforcement field.
I will not argue with that at all.
But yeah, the overall job, that's where you start getting into very hot debates. Another great sign: fear has no place in schools. That's all we got on that one. Okay, I'm moving on.
Yeah.
I mean, That's like saying fear has no place in life.
Right.
There's no guarantee. There's no promises.
Yeah.
It's
It all boils down to the
Yeah.
fucking safety thing. Like, if you want your kids to be supremely safe and you think that you can do a better job, then don't send them to school.
well, I mean, for
Yeah.
me,
Go ahead.
Go ahead. For me, it comes down to the entire thing of, listen, Cupcake, life ain't fair.
Yeah.
Deal with it.
I tell my kids that all the time. I mean, I don't understand where parents are just not able to relay this information that there's nothing fair about life. Life is
Yeah.
not designed to be fair. Life is full of obstacles to make you a better person. It's not about being fair. It's about you learning how to overcome different challenges. It's not fair that, you have people in wheelchairs who can't walk. They can either sit around and mope about it, or they can find ways to overcome their obstacles.
Yeah.
You can spread that across the spectrum. We each enter into this life with a different set of obstacles, different set of characteristics and traits. It's our job to kind of figure out how we're going to make ourselves as productive and successful as possible and overcome these things. It's not about dumbing it down for everybody. It's helping everybody, help people figure out ways to overcome these things.
Yeah.
But Megan. Megan popped up and said that at 17, what was it? At 17, I was burning myself with salt and ice at an underage kegger, and I had no business making decisions for anyone. That's fair. Thank you
Yeah.
for being honest. I appreciate your intellectual honesty here. Exactly. We're not saying that these kids are stupid. They just don't have the life experience to be able to kind of make some of these rash, grand decisions.
No, and almost
Well-
no 18-year-olds have since like the 1930s. Like, realistically.
Right.
Just get real. I mean, that's just not a real thing.
That ties into our culture too, is because back in like the turn of the century, then the turn of the 20th century, early 1900s. If you're 14 or 15, you were married off. You're already starting your family at that point. The concept that we have in our society now of adolescence as teenagers is a relatively new thing for our overall culture, our overall society.
Mhm.
And this whole living in your mom's basement until you're 26 years old, these are new things. It hasn't always been the norm.
Well, now,
Nope.
I do have to step in on one thing when it comes to these kids, especially when it comes to the Second Amendment. I
Mhm.
hate to defend them, but in this one little tiny area, I do have to step up in their defense.
Okay, go.
They're being taught, I mean, literally in their textbooks, when it talks about the Second Amendment,
Yeah, I've
the
seen that.
text actually reads something like, the Second Amendment provides for state militias to be able to.
Right. They're being
They're being
fed a horrible
indoctrinated.
Cliff Notes version.
They're
Yeah.
being indoctrinated from the get-go. So in their defense, they don't fucking know better.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I understand that.
And Drew popped up saying, if you don't have a phone in your hand when they pull you over, if they're talking about the cops, exactly, because that's revenue generation for them. They're not protecting, the public safety here.
Yeah.
That's revenue generation. That's an instant ticket that you now have to pay money out of your pocket to the state, an additional taxation for doing something that people in Montgomery don't want you doing.
Yeah.
That's all that is. There are all kinds of cold cases, all kinds of murders, all kinds of just different things that these police resources can be allocated for, but instead they decide to do speed traps. They decide to pull people over for texting and driving. It's just for revenue.
Well, that, and honestly, for the most part, most of that, it's safe, it's easy.
Yeah, it's a one and done.
There's no danger in actually going after real criminals.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry. Are we keeping you up?
You guys
Austin?
are boring me to death.
Damn, dude. I'm sorry. All right. Girls' clothing in school is more regulated than guns in America.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Not even close.
Not
When's the last time you had to get a
remotely.
permit to wear a fucking halter top?
Yeah.
Given some of the stuff I'm seeing, since when have they been able to wear a halter top?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you got to wear a fucking short sleeve shirt. You can't wear coochie cutters. I mean, those are pretty much the rules.
Can't expose your shoulders.
Yeah. Like, those are the rules. There are
Yeah.
a lot more rules for firearms.
Ton. It's a boatload.
And I don't fucking agree with those rules. I mean, I think they're retarded when you say this girl has to go home because she may be distracting to boys. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. I mean, it's petty as shit, no doubt about it.
Yeah, that's stupid. Just have fucking t-shirts that you hand out to the girls if you don't like what they're wearing.
Right,
Or whatever you want to do, but you shouldn't disrupt their education.
Maybe an amazing uncivil liberty T-shirt. We should start sending those to schools, being like, have these girls cover up with this.
Yeah.
This awesome shirt.
Yeah,
But-
I think most of ours wouldn't fly.
Yeah, probably not.
I don't know if any of them would fly,
That's
honestly.
true. That's true. Just turn it inside out.
But there's so many stupid ass rules. Like, I mean, and those signs, oh, goddamn, they're so stupid.
Well, here's one. It's someone that's maybe at 17 or 18. I should be writing my college essay, not my will. I hate to break it to you, but if you're that young, you ain't got shit to put in a will. No one gives a goddamn who gets your vape. Okay.
And nobody gives a shit about your college essay either.
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, we'll do one last one. One of these amazing signs seen at one of these brain dead rallies. Arms should be for hugging. Oh, kisses, hugs and kisses, because that's what makes the world go round. If I just hug somebody who breaks into my house and is trying to rape my family, I should just give them a hug. Just give them a hug.
Yeah.
Just give them a hug. They'll quit, man.
And throw some rocks at them. I'll have a bucket of rocks to throw at them.
Yeah.
My God, that's.
Kudos to that brain trust right there.
Oh my God, what the fuck?
Yeah.
So this is a real thing. It was in Army Times, not this last week's episode, but issue, but the one before that. That
You still get that?
they're yeah. I read Army Times and Marine Corps Times just to keep fresh,
Not Air Force Times, because fuck them, right?
Fuck those guys. Yeah, but for real, drill sergeants are complaining because new recruits cannot throw the grenade far enough.
That's a problem.
They can't throw the fucking grenade.
That's a huge fucking problem.
It's a huge problem, right? And they're finding out the hard way. But it's like it's a 30-meter throw, right? So it's not that big of a deal.
Nope.
But these new recruits can't throw it. They can't throw a grenade. I don't know how much a grenade weighs for our listeners who have never been in the Army or the
Not
Marine Corps.
much. No,
But not
honestly,
much,
not much.
right? Like a baseball, right? If you can't throw a baseball 30 meters, you probably shouldn't be in the Army.
Yeah.
But now we want these same motherfuckers to pick up rocks and throw them at school shooters? Shit.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
fuck out of here.
We had an experience in my basic training class where somebody actually dropped it in the foxhole. Let me tell you, you talk about one pissed off fucking drill sergeant.
Oh, I bet, man.
I had that guy. I had that guy afterwards. Let me tell you, that was a nerve-wracking time. But yeah,
Drop
I
the
mean,
grenade, throw the pin.
it's super easy. It's a caveman could do it. Literally, a caveman could throw a grenade. It's not that hard. And then there's a boatload of other signs. And go on, I think HelloGiggles.com has Hello Giggles.
Cool, there's one I don't think y'all mentioned that I'm
Okay.
like, I'm like, oh dear God.
Please tell me it was the White House one.
I no, I don't think so. Real men use their fists.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah,
first one
yeah,
mentioned.
real
You're-
men use their fist. Yeah, because that's not. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna use my fist against someone who is armed with a knife or
Yeah.
Is
whatever.
Oh,
that a
someone's got an
sexual
AK at me.
challenge?
I'm
That's
just
what I
gonna
wanna
punch him. I'm just gonna sock him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna punch him right in the kisser. Right in the kisser.
Yeah.
Uh, First lesson: don't bring a knife to a gunfight.
Right. No, and
Yeah.
there was one. I couldn't find the other sign, but there was one that just kind of just fucking just blew me away. That was talking about how it's like there's no guns allowed in the White House. Why are guns allowed in school? I'm like, fuck you, because there's guns everywhere. That is probably the
Everywhere.
most fortified. I guess presidential
Non-military.
non-military, you know, presidential living situation ever. All right. I mean, like we don't even know half the shit they have there.
Right. Yeah.
And
That's
it's-
just such
and
a.
it's- This is our future, guys. This is our future, and we have failed as this generation.
I'm just glad there's that one kid that's like stepping up.
Yeah.
It's like one of the survivors. He's like, this is bullshit. These guys are idiots. Kyle Lucas or Lycus or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Megan says we should just bear hug people.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Yeah. Just go up and give them big bear hugs.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
about bears tonight?
Nice
Mafia bears, bear hugs, bearskin rugs. Well, that's just me. That's me later. But anyway, anything else on these stupid signs that's seen in these gun control rallies?
No.
No,
All
but
right.
yeah, there is one thing I do want to cover before we close out.
Okay. What?
It's another bill that recently passed. I don't know if
boy.
it's made it all the way to the president's desk yet.
Yeah, who knows?
Uh,
If it's not a porn star, it's probably not on the president's desk. Oh, I did. Okay.
well, it kind of ties into that a little bit.
Whatever.
I've seen several names. The Allowing States to Fight Online Sex Trafficking Act or something like that.
Oh yes. Yeah. Yeah. That fucking
well, given
ruined,
the
ruined my
Yeah.
shitters.
given the top, the name of the show tonight, it had to be covered.
Go for
Right.
it.
Basically, it sets new rules. It decimated Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act.
That's about a bitch.
Without
Yeah, that's
before
right.
it even hit Trump's desk, if it even hits his desk, it's already had one big effect. Craigslist has already shut down their personal
yes.
section.
Yes.
Yeah. Man,
So,
I used to
you
go
know.
on there all the time.
Me too. That's some good
It's like,
reading.
God, it's so good.
You know, it's like, you know, hey, I'll hook up your smoke alarms, you know, in exchange for a little rub and tug. Like,
Yeah.
eh,
Yeah, it's some good stuff. Or
I
like
don't like hardwiring my smoke detectors.
the misconnections. It's like, yeah, I saw you wiping the snot off your 4-year-old.
You so sexy when you farted. It's
Yeah.
all right.
Here's the
Comment
part
the
that
color of my shoestring so you know it's me. Fucking what?
here's the part that gets me. Under Section 230, places like Craigslist were basically immune as long as they took time to, make sure that stuff was, if it was pointed out, it was removed or whatever. Well, under this new bill, that changes. And if they moderate and anything gets through, they're held responsible.
Yeah.
Even if they don't check each and everything, and all they do is, somebody reports it, we get rid of it. They're held responsible.
Yeah.
If they do not moderate at all, they're in the clear.
Huh.
Which is stupid.
Yeah, no, I mean I get that, but you know that's one thing too. I keep in mind is that you know it's laws like that that are pushing those sites over to Iceland, and countries similar to Iceland, but Iceland's probably one of the biggest ones where they can't be touched by the U.S. jurisdiction.
Or, moving it to Tor, the darknet,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
deep
so-
web.
It's
You know,
already deep enough. Craigslist is pretty fucking deep.
Yeah, it's-
it gets
yeah.
pretty wild sometimes.
you
Yeah.
know.
The last
I
one was
remember
like-
I remember back when Craigslist actually had like the adult section, like you know where you get the massages, you know, in-call,
Yeah.
out-call.
Yeah, the adult
$300 a night. Are you fucking crazy?
the adult services.
Yeah, I was like, $300 a night for a massage. I'm not stupid, and I sure am not paying you more than I pay my doctor. So, no.
Well, that comes with a happy ending.
Bathe in
so.
my milk. Yeah, exactly. Megan's like, bathe in my milk. There you go. There you go. Yeah, that was a weird one. That was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of moving and shaking over the past couple weeks in regards to shit being thrown around.
Yeah,
But,
and with this bill, anybody who is tied into sex worker advocacy, they're having an absolute fit. They say that this is going to make their job 10 times harder as far as actually fighting it.
You just open, like I said, you just open up a website on an Iceland server and make it similar to like Craigslist and let people just post what they want to post on it.
Mm.
I mean, there's workarounds for everything, and if you wanted to go crazy, you could go Tor, but honestly, like, you're not really going to get as many clientele if you're a sex worker just staying inside the darknet, because these old crotchety Republicans who are looking for a hookup aren't going to necessarily hit the darknet to get that.
Given how
Put
easy
your
it
ads
is,
in a church bulletin.
I mean, you download one program and you're on.
Backpage, yeah. Megan said Backpage. Yeah, that was a dirty place.
It's still up.
Yeah, I know.
We were looking today. I was talking to my friend about.
What were you looking?
There's some good stuff in there. I was like, man, I used to go take a shit during work and read all the Craigslist ads. Like, I would read every one of them, all of them, until I got to the purple link with the last one that I looked at. All of them. Didn't matter what the category was. I just like read them.
The hemorrhoids in your anus must be massive.
Yeah, they're not that bad. But then I was like, man, so I just switched over to Backpage and started reading those, and I don't want any part of that, man. I don't want to go there.
Yeah, that's a whole nother level. Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, so we're 23 minutes over our hour. We try to keep this an hour, but we really suck at it a lot of times. And so we apologize, but we actually have people hanging on for this, and we got 6 viewers. That's at least being registered on Facebook. I don't know who, maybe the other 250,000 are just kind of just watching it in their feed itself.
Yeah.
I wish. That'd be a great problem to have.
Hey, at least some of the viewers are being very proactive with us.
Yeah,
we appreciate this.
We love it.
Beyond measure.
We love the back and forth. Yeah, Ron Bishop Woot. Yeah, exactly. We try to keep up with comments. I try to make it feel like you guys are engaged as best as possible. That your comments aren't just kind of just sitting out there in nowhere land.
I'm glad Luke's trying.
By all means, please remember, folks.
Halston's a little salty right now. So
I don't know why. I'm just fucking that.
Folks, if you are watching, please remember, you are welcome to come on.
Yeah.
We will happily have you on.
If you want to come
be a part of
They're
it.
full of shit.
If you want to come on,
I'm not happy about it at all.
Send us a message on our page. That's all you gotta do. Say, hey, I would love to join your guys' shenanigans.
Yeah.
And we'll be like, oh, cool. You actually care. Awesome. Come join our shenanigans.
Not true.
No. Okay. Halston says not true. Not true.
Not true. They're full of shit.
If you're listening to this on podcast, go to our Facebook page and say, hey, look, I think I have something to contribute. And we'll be
Absolutely.
like, probably you do, because we usually don't. So... Yeah, and at least Ron said, at least here, I won't get my tires slashed. Yeah,
That's right.
Ron Bishop apparently got his tires slashed. He seemed to be very positive about it, which for me, I would have lost my shit. I would have been
yes.
on a rampage.
Cool.
So, more power to you, Ron. It sucks that it happened. I'm so sorry about that.
I'd have fucked everybody in a 5-mile radius.
Wow. Watch
that
that person be in 6 miles away from you. So you just fucked like everybody.
Just lucked out. You just lucked out.
Next time.
We'll stretch it out to 10 miles.
And Megan says she just likes to comment. That's fine. I'm just glad. Share us with your friends. We'd love to build our audience base. We'd love to have more people coming in and watching this nightmare show, but or even listen. Share us around. We're not making any money off this. This is what we do for fun. We do try to sell shirts from time to time. We
are going to take all of that money and split it up and not buy any school supplies.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're going to do. Not at all.
Pay our power bills.
Not at all. Local politics suck. Yes, Ron. it's a vicious game. It is a vicious game.
Let's
All
remove
right.
a word there, and then we are more accurate. Let's remove the word local.
And just say politics. Yeah,
Politics.
there you go. Politics suck. Yeah, politics is bullshit. As our old tagline used to say, which had to
Yeah.
change out. Politics is bullshit. Exactly right. All right.
Which one
so
are we on now?
we're still floating the Arvin thing. Arvin,
Okay,
please.
I wasn't sure if we were doing it or
please stop
the.
talking.
I wasn't sure if we were doing it or the tacos won't eat themselves.
We had that for a little bit, and then when the whole Arvin started running his mouth again.
Laura Lane.
Yeah, and-
I'm wearing a tutu at the dollar store.
Arvin apparently is running for some office.
Don't care. All right,
Well,
that
Well,
Laura
that's
Lane.
scary.
Laura
That's
Lane for
scary.
you. I'm wearing a tutu and a tank top.
I've got a Borat bathing suit. I don't know if you guys remember ever seeing that.
I'm not wearing that.
Oh
Not
yeah,
at the
I
Dollar Tree.
remember it.
I got one, same color and everything.
No, I'm going straight to jail if I wear that to a Dollar
Straight to
Tree.
jail.
No, that will be forever
And,
embedded.
and Megan wants one of our shirts. Do we have any left over floating around?
Yeah. I mean, I think that Printful campaign is still up there.
Is it still up? Well, I'll dig up.
Yeah,
the,
we can share it again, maybe.
Yeah, we'll share it again. You know, go buy yourself a cool T-shirt. Well, I'm actually working on a couple designs. I think Halson, you and I are
Me
kind of
too.
batting around.
Yeah.
So
Pretty soon we're gonna have 4 or 5 of them.
yep. So anyway, all right, we're closing this bad boy out. We're now 28 minutes past. Holy hell! All right, guys, you have wasted another valuable hour and almost an hour and a half.
I don't
with
know
us.
why you keep doing it.
You must be gluttons for punishment, but we appreciate it. Offer still stands. You want to come on, you want to join the shenanigans one week, shoot us a message on our Facebook page. Otherwise, check out our Facebook page on Civil Liberties Show. Check out our Twitter. Not sure what the handle is, doesn't really matter. And check out YouTube and podcasts. Other than that, we're going to close this out for this week. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Hell yeah.
Good night, all.
Fuck Congress.
Fuck Congress.
Oh yeah, fuck Congress.